let's hand out some awards, Dean. I've got 5 awards here in front of us. We've got to agree on it as much as we can, and we'll start with Manager of the Year.
Right, I want to say Unai Emery for going into Villa and transforming them to a team now that we're talking about winning the league, which is incredible.
Yes.
And by the way, they threw 3 points away the other day. They would have been right in there even better. But how can you overlook a manager who's won the treble? It is relentless. You shouting things to players every day. You drumming things into players. At some point, they stop listening. You can't keep saying the same things over and over again.
I know.
So he sells a few, and he brings a few in, a few fresh ears.
Yeah.
And then he gets them going, and he seems to get it right time and time again. And I mean, what a manager! His enthusiasm
for the game
goes onto the pitch with the rest of his squad. So I'm going to give it Pep.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Pep Guardiola definitely goes in there. Special mention for Rob Edwards though with Luton. I think him getting him up to the Premier League, an unbelievable job he done.
He's been a manager in the wrong era, where you just get tossed from club to club every time you lose a few games. So,
right, we've got to go for Player of the Season. Who are we thinking?
Player of the Season, 52 goals, Haaland. I wanted to say Mo Salah because he's just relentless. Assists, goals, year after year. But Haaland, 52 goals.
Do you know who I'm going to go
player.
with? And it's one that you might not agree with, but I don't care. I'm going to go with Emi Martinez.
The goalie?
Goalie at Aston Villa. Unbelievable.
What?
He's had an unbelievable year. Unbelievable
Won
year.
the World Cup.
He's won he's won everything that you could win. The pinnacle of football he's won. He never makes a mistake. Aston Villa do not realise how good of a goal. We talk about David Raya, we talk about Ederson, we talk about Alisson. Let me tell you now, Martinez, he's one of the best keepers in the world, and he never makes a mistake. So for me, I'm going to go.
He's got the World Cup on the end of his CV there.
He's got the World Cup under his belt.
So
and he's completely changed the fortunes at Aston Villa. So I'm going to go Martinez.
All right, that's fair enough. But I just think Haaland, because he's won the treble, I think that's massive achievement, and he's got 52 goals. So
yeah, but without Kevin De Bruyne, he don't look the same player. Right, signing of the year.
Right, I'm going to go. Thought about this. I thought about Declan Rice. He's done well, but I'm going to go Mitoma. To pluck him out of nowhere, and we've all got a player who plays for every club you watch, and everybody will be going, yeah, we've got one. A winger who looks the part that doesn't deliver. It fizzles out on him, end product. Well, Mitoma, for me, all the wingers, Antony, Sancho, all of them, watch Mitoma, end product he produces. So I don't know how much he cost. It weren't much, was it?
I don't imagine.
I think he's a great player, so I'm going to say Mitoma.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mitoma has been a great signing, and Brighton again doing some top business. I can't get away from Declan Rice. I have to say, I think a signing that you're guaranteeing yourself some top performances, and I think going from West Ham to Arsenal, he's propelled him to a bit of stardom, and this season his performances have been incredible. I know last night wasn't great, but over the course of the year, Declan Rice, he's done it with West Ham, and then he's got them a trophy. He's had an unbelievable year with them, finished off on a high, and he goes £100 million. West Ham get to sign some decent players. He goes to the club he wants to go to, and then he goes in at Arsenal, and he's a leader straight away. He's already running that dressing room. So for me,
I can't disagree with that.
Signing has to be Declan Rice. I'd love to say Maddison, and Maddison probably would have been my guy, but he's picked up an injury and he's out for a few. He's been out for a few months, so that kind of killed me. So Declan Rice for me is my signing of the year.
The reason I didn't go Declan Rice was because it was an obvious choice, right? You know what you're going to get from him. You knew when he signed him, it's a safe bet. Mitoma has been plucked from somewhere, and he's tearing the Premier League up.
Yeah, there have been some big signings. Right, flop of the year. Who are you going with?
Right, there's a queue for this one. Most of them are at Man United. So I'm fed up with talking about. Anyway, it's a toss-up for me between Sanchez, who I watch play for Dortmund, ripping people to shreds every week, and Antony. What was he? 90 million. Antony.
Antony, yeah.
Antony.
And Sancho, not Sanchez.
I'm going to Sanchez. Yeah, not Sancho.
Sancho.
Sancho. Yeah, confused me. So I'm going to go Antony. I'm going to go Antony for the figure they spent to what they've got back. I mean,
disaster.
Just keep him on his right foot.
Yeah, he's been a disaster. I'm going to go for a whole football club, and I'm going to go for Chelsea. Chelsea have been the flop of the year.
Just bitterness, that is.
No, it's not bitterness at all. It's a fact. They've gone and spent £1 billion, brought in 30 players, and they're absolutely abysmal. Todd Bowley's come in and made a complete mess of it. Graham Potter and his old backroom staff brought him in, had to pay them a fortune to go. Then he's had Frank Lampard come in, an absolute disaster. And now he's got Pochettino in, who everyone thought he was going to be great, and he is a good manager, but they're still absolutely woeful. They're scraping results just because in the end the good players will get you a few wins. But Chelsea Football Club this year have been a disgrace.
Well,
so they are my flop of the year.
Everybody should take heed at Chelsea.
£1 billion and they're 10th.
Well, look at this, Jim. Take heed. They're about to play Luton Town at Luton.
Yeah.
Right? And the rules of life do not apply to football. And Todd Bowley's just found out. Surely if I spend £1 billion, we can beat Luton.
Yeah.
Who have spent nothing.
Yeah, literally.
What must he be thinking? He doesn't know football, right? He's sat in a crowd and he's going, hang on, we've just been beaten by Luton. I've spent £1 billion on all these players and Luton have beat us.
Yep. Shambles. Biggest surprise. This is the last one. End of the year awards. The biggest surprise. I've got a few in front of me. I've got Villa. I've got Bournemouth. I'm going to go with Gary O'Neill. I think Gary O'Neill done a brilliant job all year with Bournemouth to keep them up with a small budget, and they were down and out and everyone writing him off, and he kept that football club up, and they mugged him off and got rid of him and thought we're going to go a different way. And you know what? Fair play, Bournemouth. The manager's come in and finally they've got it together. But he went to Wolves, and a lot of Wolves fans weren't sure about him, and they were like, no, don't want him. But for me, Gary O'Neill, his move to Wolves has turned out to be an absolutely fantastic one, and I think a lot of people were a bit surprised at him and how good he is as a manager, and I think he's shown it, and I think he deserves what he's got, and fair play to him. So he's my biggest surprise of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's done brilliantly. Bournemouth, I thought were going to get relegated, but they've surprised me how well they've done. But I have to say, Unai Emery at Aston Villa turned them into a team that everybody thinks might win the league from where they were. So Aston Villa.
Yeah, I've just had a message coming in. Mitoma signing of the year when he joined in 2021. Come on, Dino, shambles from you.
He was in the reserves for a bit.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.